Days after Governor Ralph Northam told CBS 6 that he would look into the decision to grant parole to a man convicted of killing a Richmond police officer, we are learning new details about that case. Our crime insider John Burkett joins us live now. John, what are your sources telling you?
Well, Bill, April 30th was tagged as cop killer Vincent Martin's release date. We are now hearing that it's pushed back to May 11th. And now it has come to my attention that other cases are being reviewed to see if the letter of the law was followed. Vincent Martin will now wait 11 more days for release. Michael Connor's family telling me they were contacted by Virginia's Secretary of Public Safety, Brian Moran, over the weekend and felt like his sympathy was heartfelt.
We certainly feel like the Connors family did not get an ample opportunity to be heard on this issue. And that to us is a big concern. The other concern we have, obviously, is the parole board chairman's ability to conduct an investigation into innocence of the convicted felon. We feel like that is a process that should be left to the courts.
Martin was convicted of shooting and killing the 23-year-old Connors in November of 1979. The man who prosecuted the case calling it a flat-out execution.
We have 5 people, 4 of whom said the life of a police officer is not worth a hell of a lot.
As CBS 6 was first to report, despite a life sentence, 4 out of 5 parole board members recently voted to set Martin free. Now Crime Insider sources tell me Martin's own family had no idea his release was a possibility because they thought he had been executed years ago.
We're hoping that the governor sees that there are some concerns here about fairness and equity in the process and the ability to be involved. We're just hoping that he's taking our concerns into consideration.
And even more troubling,
she was convicted of murdering Eric Wynn, who was her son-in-law.
Is a recent parole case out of Halifax County. Deborah Scribner was recently released by the same parole board headed by Chair Adrian Bennett. Scribner was sentenced to 23 years in February of 2012 for her part in the execution-style murder of her son-in-law, whose body was found stuffed in a well on the family's property. Part of state code says the victim's family is supposed to be notified of parole possibilities. But Halifax Commonwealth Attorney Tracy Martin says no one from the parole board ever reached out to the victim's family, despite the fact that they have a known address and phone number.
It was simply a failure in all regards when it comes to the victim in this case. He was easy to find, and if they had tried at all, they would have found him.
Martin says in her case, the letter of the law was not followed. It's the same thing Michael Connor's family says they're going through.
The fix is one of 2 things. And so I guess my comments are more directed toward the legislature. Either there should be some regulatory fix within the operations of the parole board, or they need some other level of oversight.
On Friday, Governor Ralph Northam pledged to take a look at Michael Connor's case. It now appears that more examples are showing up. Working for you tonight, John Burkett, CBS 6 News.